Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has basically, he has a new Surgeon General in his state. And this person, Dr. Joseph Ladapo, is not so great when it comes to responding to the pandemic. In fact, they're now implementing revised rules in regard to school children and how long they should quarantine if there's a COVID outbreak in the school. In terms of quarantine rules, Dr. Joseph Ladapo eliminated previous mandates requiring students to quarantine for at least 4 days off campus if they've been exposed. Under the new guidelines, students who have been exposed can continue going to campus without restrictions or disparate treatment, provided they are asymptomatic. But remember, asymptomatic people who have COVID, including children, can still spread COVID. This isn't just about the children and like the individual who has COVID. It's about the spread of COVID, and that's the issue here. So it's fascinating because simultaneously, Florida is also drafting an anti-abortion bill similar to the one that's been implemented in Texas that would outlaw abortions. And what's fascinating about that is the whole reasoning behind it is we care about lives. We consider an embryo the same thing as a viable, living, breathing human life. But the thing is, when it comes to living, breathing human lives in the state of Florida, elected leaders there don't seem to really care too much about their lives, especially when it comes to COVID.
Yeah, so Republicans have decided to be flagrantly stupid. And there's no other way to describe it. So Sorry to interrupt you. I don't think they're flagrantly stupid. I think they know what they're doing. No, I mean the voters. They're like, oh, this guy's trying to endanger my kid's life. Oh, I love this guy. I want to give him more of my votes. Oh, Florida's leading the state, leading the country in deaths from COVID. That's great. I'm going to try to get COVID to show how Republican I am. Okay.
Well, okay, so I don't know, maybe this would persuade their supporters so they can understand what's really going on, especially when it comes to school children, right? There's a massive labor shortage in Florida and they want people back at work. And one of the reasons why parents are unable to get back to work is because their kids keep getting quarantined during the pandemic. That's what this is about.
Yes.
They want to risk your children's lives, your lives, to make sure that you're back to the mines. Back to the mines immediately. That's what this is really about.
And I forgot that. That's a great point. That's almost certainly what's happening here.
Yeah.
So look, back to why it's not a good idea. Children are less affected. There's no question about that. So we care about the facts. We told you when COVID, before the Delta variant, when it had dropped to really low levels, and some Democrats were still insisting wear masks outside when you're not near people. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. You should follow the science, right? And so there are scientific facts, including children less affected, but it doesn't mean that they can't get sick. They often do. In fact, now they're among the category that's getting sick the most often. And there's a lot of reasons for that because everybody's back in school and the older populations got vaccinated at much higher percentages, obviously, because kids under 12 can't get vaccinated at all. So, but guys, it's still a risk. There's no question about it. So I told this before, I think maybe in a bonus episode for the members, my daughter had someone sitting right next to her in school who got coronavirus on the first week. So now luckily in LA, masks are mandated in school, so everybody was masked up. And what they did was they quarantined everyone that was at that table because they were all sitting right next to each other, right, the whole week. And that included my daughter. And so we brought her back home. Why did we bring her back home? Because she might have been sick and she might have gotten other people sick. Now we're vaccinated, but those kids she's 8, so those kids are not at all vaccinated, and we don't know who's immunocompromised among the teachers, et cetera. Any decent person would bring her back home, and they're saying no. In that case in Florida, they're often unmasked.
Right.
And they're like, no, I don't care if she might have COVID. I don't care that she was sitting next to a person, and that all science says that you have a very good chance of getting it if you're sitting right next to the person. No, I want her to go back to school and make everybody else sick. That's what really bad people do. There's a word for that, it's called evil.
And by the way, this is a little known fact, but it's very relevant. Remember, Ron DeSantis had implemented a ban on mask mandates. Well, he suffered so many lawsuits as a result that they reworded it, effectively ending the ban on mask mandates. So lawsuits work, folks. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, they did a loophole anyway where the parents can opt out. Right. So the cuckoo parents are gonna opt out. But anyways, protect your kids, protect yourselves. And the most important way to do that is to never listen to a Republican politician. They're lying to you, and almost always on behalf of corporations.